hearing voices.
It's okay, I just farted. Let's do that one again, okay?
The farting part.
No.
Ah! What?
I just felt I should do that.
Matthew McConaughey is a very funny and wild person, and even his presence makes people around him lose control. Why? Let's go into details. When it comes to his career, Matthew McConaughey's aura is outstanding. He can easily fit in anywhere and has a cool energy that catches people off guard. He effortlessly knows how to make himself seen, and his energy is contagious, easily influencing others. Whenever he performs live, he always looks surprised and confused at the same time. But one thing about him is that his shows are hilarious. He says funny things and repeats his words too. He also makes weird gestures. In fact, he does not even stress himself. He literally delivers everything in simple lines. He always knows what to do each time, and he can chip in words seamlessly. For instance, he says, all right, all right, all right.
All right, all right, all right.
And somehow he makes those experiences memorable.
I know the seagulls. They're friends.
Toro, 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 toro.
Look at the salmon, look at the salmon, look at the salmon, look at the salmon. Okay. Oh. Your master's no good. Mine is better. Ready? Ow, ow, ow. Phew. So you want to play rough, huh? Whoa! Mine! Oh, wow! Almost got the eel.
He explicitly said he got those lines from listening to his role model, Jim Morrison, and it just flowed out of him. One thing people barely forget about Matthew is that he makes every moment wholesome and more entertaining. Also, he lets them happen naturally and makes him even more powerful. Even some of his colleagues tried to copy him several times, but they couldn't do it exactly like him. There's something about the originality. Even if many of them almost get it right, once the owner comes in, there will always be a difference. Matthew's voice, his slow but smooth way of talking, is different. Also, his cool energy feels natural, and that is what overwhelms people. Ever since he got popular, people saw him differently. His stories even became as famous as his movies. Also, people couldn't stop talking about his bongo incident. He was drumming nonchalantly in his home in Austin. He played bongos with no clothes on, in the middle of the night. That was really wild. He was completely lost in the rhythm. Suddenly, the police showed up because of noise complaints from his neighbors. He didn't even notice them until he was tapped. He stopped almost immediately. He didn't even flinch one bit, though he was surprised. He got arrested that night. It was a long night, though. Later, he told the story of one of his talk shows with a smile. He practically turned something that would have been embarrassing into a very funny and interesting moment.
What? Get off the screen.
Filming Jumanji meant working with all kinds of creatures, but this trained animal proved to be more unpredictable than Robin Williams expected.
Sometimes, the stories he tells are hard to believe, especially the one he told about working on the beach bum with Snoop Dogg. He explained how Snoop switched the fake weed that was supposed to be used as a prop with real weed without telling him, and he ended up smoking it, and the effect was intense. He was completely lost in the moment. Then he explained that he stayed in that mood for hours, talking and rapping non-stop, demonstrating it on stage. It was so funny. How he handled the situation subtly and still made jokes out of it was wild. People are not surprised because he got his goofiness from his dad. His father was known for his outrageous behavior. He was very playful and cracked silly jokes. He made life feel like an adventure. There were so many funny stories about him. Matthew recounted how his father would set up odd competitions just to see what people would do. He tested their skills in so many games. He would often set high bars and ask if anyone could throw a ball through it, sometimes stuff marshmallows into their mouths to know if they could fit in. Matthew grew up following that same pattern of life. Even when he recounted the story of his father's death, he told it in a way that was almost shocking but still carried a kind of dark humor. His mother also played an important role in his life. She was very strong and outspoken. Even as a child, she would correct him at every slight mistake, and her discipline carried him into his adult life. She was also direct and shared personal stories in ways that could surprise people, and she was never embarrassed to share them. When he worked on Magic Mike, his confidence reached a whole new level. There was a moment when he tested his costume, which was extremely revealing, and walked around casually as if nothing was unusual. Most actors would feel awkward about it, but Matthew doesn't care at all. He treated it like a normal day. That ability to stay relaxed in uncomfortable situations is part of his charm. He doesn't let external pressure or potential embarrassment control him. Instead, he controls the moment with his calm attitude. He shows an aura that makes it almost impossible for others to feel uneasy around him. Watching him perform in such moments shows how deeply internalized this sense of ease is.
Hey!
When opposite acting styles collide, someone's bound to break, and Robin made sure it wasn't him.
Hi, Patcha. It's Roman. It's Georgetown University.
His life stories often sound surreal, as if they were directly pulled from dreams. He once described how he had a peaceful time traveling in nature, where he felt completely free and deeply connected to the world around him. From his description, it was obvious that the experience touched him profoundly. And instead of keeping it private, he shared it openly, revealing how he sees life as a series of experiences to be lived fully. He has spoken about traveling across continents, getting caught in unexpected situations, and joining local adventures just to feel alive. He once described getting involved in small fights or spontaneous challenges just to engage with life in its raw form. When he worked with Woody Harrelson on True Detective, he behaved differently. The experience was unforgettable. His colleague, Woody, expected to see more jovial and energetic Matthew like he always does, but he was in the mood and was deeply engrossed in his role. He responded to every question asked seriously, even when others tried to lighten the mood. They saw another side of him and noticed that he can be overly serious, yet fully committed. He can move from playful to serious without breaking the rhythm of the room, which makes him uniquely magnetic and unpredictable. Matthew's career wasn't easy. He had challenges too, and he is very open about it. There was a time when he showed up unprepared for a scene. Having to perform lines in a language he barely understood was quite difficult. He made mistakes but accepted it later with humor. He laughed at himself and shared the story in a way that made people connect with him even more. This honesty, this refusal to pretend perfection, has become part of his signature style. He demonstrates that making mistakes is not only human, but can be entertaining, educational, and even empowering if handled with grace and humor.
Here are the stories for today. Today, the Pope celebrated the Latin Mass in Yiddish for the first time. Here's an actual broadcast. Is it me, or is former President Dwight D. Eisenhower actually Elmer Fudd? I'm not sure, but listen to one of his speeches and you be the judge.
His voice has also become a defining part of his identity. Very calm and soothing, it is the kind of voice that draws attention without demanding it. Jimmy Kimmel once joked about listening to it to fall asleep, and that comment perfectly highlighted the strength and effect of his voice. That slow, measured tone makes simple words feel more meaningful. Even in his past projects, there were moments that still surprise audiences today. When it's been interpreted literally by people, they are often shocked by the unusual creative choices made in the film. Matthew seemed surprised at himself whenever he looked back at it, but that actually made him who he is today. Also, he doesn't shy away from awkward or imperfect moments. He owns them, and that tells a lot about him. He has a mindset that prizes experience over image. It is his willingness to accept both the odd and the uncomfortable that stirs up the idea that nobody can really handle his cool energy.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Robbins.
Mr. Robbins?
Taking the stick back, Elmo.
While most actors politely acknowledge technical issues, Robin turned them into part of the performance, and we can't get enough of them.
That's enough. I'll tell you what you want to know.
Don't they give you haircuts on work?
No, we try to avoid them because of... All right. I'm sorry.
His early life was not rosy either. Even before he got popular, he dealt with his personal difficulties, to the extent he questioned his confidence at some point. Most times, he was being teased by neighbors and bullied by his peers. These experiences could have triggered a lot, but he was able to control it. It gave him strength and courage to face anything. Again, his goofiness reflected in his daily habits. Whenever he cooks or spends time at home, they are mostly done freely and playfully. He has joked about moving through life without judging or expecting much. From his personality, it's clear that this isn't just about humor. He believes he ought to live his life fully and enjoy it. That kind of confidence is rare, and it is one of the reasons people are drawn to him. Many celebrities have tried to imitate him. People like Matt Damon have jokingly copied his voice and the way he talks because it's so easy to recognize and has become very influential. But imitating shows his importance and equally proves how unique he is. Truthfully, no one else can truly replicate his sense of humor or the way he combines it. He cracks unpredictable jokes and influences people effortlessly, showing that he was made for it. It shows he was actually made for it. And it is precisely why audiences, co-stars, and even fellow actors are drawn to him. His energy is a force in itself, something to be observed, experienced, and sometimes even envied. The reason people say nobody can handle Matthew McConaughey's cool energy is simple. He does not follow ordinary rules. He stays calm in chaos, finds humor in unexpected or bizarre situations, and tells his stories in ways that pull people in. When he speaks, people listen. When he acts, audiences watch intently. When he shares his life experiences, they captivate. His energy is magnetic because it is real, grounded in experience, humor, and honesty. It is unpredictable yet comforting, intense yet effortless, playful yet deeply serious when it counts. Matthew McConaughey is real and well-grounded. He sees life differently and belittles unimportant things easily. He does not do things to please anyone. He accepts his past wholeheartedly and enjoys the present without being overly concerned or trying to fit into people's expectations. He has turned his wins and mistakes into stories that both entertain and inspire as well. And that's rare. He has left a lasting impression on everyone who encounters him. That's the reason people do not just admire him. If you enjoyed this story and want to explore more similar stories, quickly subscribe to this channel and don't forget to like and share. See you in the next video.